Hello, welcome again to Times and Seasons podcast. Your host is Nkem Okemiri, and today we'll be talking about basics for understanding dated and numbered seasons. Like we said previously, all human seasons are either dated or numbered. That's how we know that we're moving into another season, or this is another year, this is a new year. Last year was this is a new year. Or last year this was my age, I'm moving into a new age. So our seasons are dated and numbered, and they are not just about numbers. Our seasons have spiritual implications. They have implications, for the lives we live. So I'm going to be showing something from the Bible, and this is like giving you a decoder. This decoder will help you to understand your times and seasons. God created times and seasons in the book of Genesis. God lives in eternity, but time had a point where it started. Time started at a point. In Genesis 1, we know when time started. When God says the morning and the evening was the first day, time began. There was no time before that point. So, Genesis chapter 1 shows us that there are 7 seasons. God did the work of creation in 7 days. And each of those days are representatives of the seasons we go through. God could have done everything in one day, but He broke the work into 7 seasons. And each season, He filled it with a purpose. So God shows us in Genesis chapter 1 that to everything there is a time. Light had a time when it came in. The firmament had a time when it moved in. Vegetation moved in at a time. The birds and the sea creatures moved in at a time. Animals, land animals, and humans moved in at a time, because to everything there is a time. Now, God also filled each of the seasons or each of the times with purposes, because the Bible also tells us that there is a time to every purpose under heaven. So, when should light come in? First day. When should we bring in the firmament? Second day. Because every purpose has its time. When should we bring in vegetation? Third day. And God just went on that way. So Genesis chapter 1 tells us that time is a gate. So time is a gate. We access places, cities, houses through gates. So time is a gate for purposes. No purpose can find expression on earth until it passes through a gate of time. That's why transactions have gates. When people are born, you write down the date. This is when they were born. This is when people die, because time is a gate. When you hear that things happen, we're interested in knowing when did it happen, because time is a gate for purposes. So Genesis 1, the creation account in Genesis 1, helps us to understand the gates of purposes and the purpose of each gate. Now, on the first day of creation, when time began, we are told, then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light, and God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. That's when time began. First day. There was no day before that time. There was no evening before that time. There was no night or day before that time. So first day, that's when time began. So God did this, brought in different purposes, and everything ended in 7 days. And each of these days helps us to understand the 7 seasons that we're going to be talking about, later in the series. But on the first day, what did God do? God said, let there be light. Why did he do that? Because there was darkness. Now, the first day of first season is the model, is the pattern for understanding all first seasons. What do we mean by first seasons? The first season could be the first year. It could be the first 7 years. It could be first 49 years. 49 is 7 times 7. We already saw that God packaged time in sets of 7s. So the first year in every 7 years is a first season. The first 7 years in every 49 years is also a first season. So what we have in Genesis 1, on the first day of creation, God created light to counter darkness. Light represents godliness. Light represents knowledge. Light represents goodness. So the meaning is that in every first season, you battle with darkness. And light needs to be around you to help you triumph in every first season. If the Bible says God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all, so that means that in every first season, at the beginning of your seasons, you need the presence of God, because God is light and in him is no darkness. Oh, I'm going through a first year. Oh, I need God, because God is first. He is light, God is light, and in him is no darkness. Oh, light is also knowledge. When the entrance of your word brings light. So in every first season, I need understanding. I need wisdom. I need some experience. It's a time to learn. It's a time to allow knowledge about what I'm doing get into me. Let's say that, oh, this is my first year on this job. Then I need the presence of God. I need God to be ahead. I need God to open the way, because God is light. And in him, there is no darkness. If I put God first, he would be able to help me through situations that could make me stumble or make me make mistakes or do wrong things. So I need the light of God in the first season so that he can bless the rest of the seasons. I also need knowledge. I need wisdom for what I'm getting into. Oh, this is my first year on this job. I need to learn. I need to know how to do what I'm doing. I need to gain some insight so that light comes and drives away the darkness of ignorance, the darkness of inexperience, and the darkness of tradition and all that will make me make mistakes, because I'm starting something. I need understanding. So light is God's presence. Light is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Light is also godliness, because we are battling between darkness and light. That means that at the beginning, I need to do things right. I need honesty. I need integrity. I don't want to mess up the beginning of my seasons with, a shoddy way of living. I need to do the right things, do them the right way. That's what light means. So in every first season, I need to arm myself with light. So whatever season it is, first year in marriage, you need light. The first of every 7 years. you need light. And then when you are thinking about a 49-year season, then the first 7 years becomes season 1, because God packaged time in sets of 7s. So we are dealing with the first of every 7 years. We're also dealing with the first 7 years in every 49 years. Or we're dealing with, for nations, the first 49 years in every 343 years. That's how these are our first seasons, and we need to know how to handle them. If it's in a year, every year has a first month, every year has a first week. The same thing applies. Every year is divided into 7 seasons. You have 52 weeks in a year, and you have 752s in a year. So it's still possible to say the first 52 days, this is the first season in this year. The second 52 days, that's the second season in the year. The third 52 days, and all just until you get to the 752 days that gives you 364 days. So the first season is the season of light. And perhaps you are in a first season right now. I pray that you will have light in this season, that the presence of God will be light for you, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will be light for you, that you will seek it. Wisdom and knowledge and understanding may not fall on us. We can look for it. We can look for it to battle the darkness of ignorance and misunderstanding and error. We need light. And I also pray that in this season, you will take off with godliness and do the right things the right way. If you do that, then your first season is blessed. The other side is that while you need light, the evil one will want to throw things at you in your first season that will cause you to stumble. Things that will make you make mistakes. Things that would confuse you. Things that will bring fear in your life, because that's what darkness does. Darkness produces fear. Darkness produces confusion. Darkness produces stumbling. You make mistakes. You do things you shouldn't do. But if in your first season, you bring in the light of God's presence and bring in the light of godliness and pursue the light of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you will triumph over darkness in your first season. God bless you. In our next podcast, we will talk about the second season and how to prosper in that season. Thank you.